is Business RockStars. Starting a business, finding the money, what you need to know to become a rockstar entrepreneur.
So think about the old world of animation. I don't know, maybe the Disney world and then the new world of mobile. Collide them together. Where's the opportunity? I'm Ken Rakowski. Listen to Business Rockstars. Every day we bring you rock stars from around the planet. We find out what's going on in the world of entrepreneurship, helping you entrepreneurs turn you into an entrepreneur. Sign up for our newsletter by going to BusinessRockStars.com. Get that because you want to find out who is going to be on the show in the future. We got some big people hanging out with us. Umesh Shukla is joining us. He's the CEO and founder of what is called now a brand new animation company, mixing old school animation with new world mobility. What's the name of the company?
It's called Orin.
Orin. And what is, I use a term called speed to cool, and you're going to know what that means. It's called your elevator pitch, which means is how fast can you talk about your business to make us say cool?
So Orin is the only company, most award-winning company in the world that uses its own proprietary technology to create animations for mobile consumption.
Is that important to have a proprietary technology?
Absolutely.
Why is that?
That's what makes it different.
Okay.
Because when we started the company, we didn't want to be a Me Too company. There are lots of companies that started on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
And how do you make a dent in this already saturated market? So the idea was when I left these, like I was at Disney and DreamWorks, my intent was to create something that was adding to what was already available.
Because the current technology wasn't good enough?
It was good enough, but it was lacking something. So, my inspiration was, if you look at Disney, what Disney did, Disney was always looking forward. He used Xerox for 100 Dalmatian, multiplaning, whatnot. So when I was at Disney, the issue was always like, if he was here today, what would he be looking at?
Oh, wow.
And what I realized was that there was one area which was kind of getting ignored by, of course, Pixar was doing, great with the computer animation and, everybody was jumping into the fray. But there was one area which I felt it was kind of not being looked at, which I call painterly animation. So when you look at, say, if you've been to any of the studios where the development work happens before the film, there's a beautiful art, even like for Snow White. Disney got illustrators.
All those cells and then
before even cells, when it's being conceptualized,
Okay.
when design work is going on. So if you look at what Disney was doing, even with the Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, they were illustrators were hired to create this beautiful artwork. But when it got to the cellulite, got to the film, it became black outlines and flat colors.
It went from having flavor.
Natural.
It disappeared.
Absolutely. Right. So what was happening was, if you look at it, in the past, since the inception of animations, we have 2D animation, which has been black outlines, from and flat colors, from Snow White to SpongeBob to Princess and the Frog, and then you have 3D animation, which is kind of Pixar, of course, started it, but what that is referred to as photorealistic animation. So what happens is the characters look different, but they live in the same world. And what I mean by that is you take Woody and stick him into Ice Age, he fits in perfectly well.
You can do that with your technology?
No, but our technology, our technology takes it beyond that. So what allows us to do it maintains the original aesthetic of an artwork and brings it to animation.
So Umesh, this company that you created, you left Disney.
Yes.
Did you realize that you wanted to do this? Was it was pondering inside your mind?
Absolutely. I had done some tests. If you, like Tarzan is a good example, when you have the backgrounds that are being animated, they look very painterly, but the Tarzan himself is hand-drawn. Similarly, if you look at Lilo and Stitch, you have the background, which is kind of watercolor static paintings, but characters are, again, flat and hand-drawn. So our technology allows you to create animations that could be watercolor, could be oil, could be pencil, could be any.
It sounds revolutionary.
Absolutely. Pixar, in fact, we got 4 patents, and we have been working on it almost like for 4 years. And when we, finished the whole package, so to say, from A to Z, we did some market testing, and people did notice. We did a film on Monet, which was kind of shown on, as though Monet had painted each and every frame.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was sold in Monet's garden at Givenchy.
It sounds like you, and please don't take this the wrong way, but it's almost as of what James Cameron has done for something like Avatar, the technology that he invested into, which is that's his technology, right? You've gone the same direction when it comes to animation.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty big. It's huge.
It was big because, it was a big step. That's why we got funded by venture capitalists from Silicon Valley, because they saw what we had in mind, and they, it was very different than what anybody
How
else
can we
was.
see this technology? How can someone that's listening right now actually see this?
So a small flavor of it, because though we are making animations, just to kind of throw it out and look at people. So there are two apps currently available. One is called Aurin Ink.
Spell that.
AURYNINK. So this one is it's a very, very popular app. We don't advertise it because we make essentially picture books. But this currently is the only true watercolor simulation on iPad. People are creating great stuff.
How do you make money with this?
Sorry? Oh, we have, this was being sold, and there's another one where which is kind of, again, it's an iPhone app. It's called Canvas.
Canvas.
Not Canvas, cameras, as in camera, Canvas. And Canvas is Instagram, like mother of Instagram, because Instagram allows you to change filters to an image. This one actually creates media, so you can do watercolor, oil,
so
and pencil.
You're not an animation company, even though you have that as a technology. You're an animation company or a tool set, right? Are you making content?
Absolutely, we created the tools because they were not available.
But are you creating animation?
Yes.
So are we going to see a movie or a piece of content?
Right now, we have about 200 apps that we have done that are available on iPad and iPhone. And each one of those, like there's some primary, like Rosemary Wells, Jamie Lee Curtis, any of these people, their books, if you go and see, our animation technology and our animation gets used for those
I'm a bit perplexed. Help me out, Umesh. So if you look at you as, compare yourself to a company, a media company we would recognize.
Pixar.
You are Pixar. Because Pixar's got the technology, obviously.
Absolutely.
And then they make the films. Okay. But they don't have, well, they do have apps, actually. They have a few apps out there.
We chose not to go and make films. Instead, we decided to, use our technology to create children's picture book apps for mobile.
And you're looking at $3.99 for your app. That's the iPad store.
Yeah.
And it's AURYNINK.
Yes.
And you could actually do watercolor painting on that. It looks like it's a pretty popular app, by the way.
It is. And there are like our apps, if you go and look at like Rosemary Wells is a very good example. We did a small little app called Bunny Fun, it's called, head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Very, very simple. So what we did, I don't know whether you're familiar with Rosemary Wells' work. Very renowned, well-renowned children book illustrator. That's also one of them. Yeah. So
this is your second app. It's CAMVAS. Transform your photos into works of art. Wow.
Yeah. So these are just
that's a free one.
Yes, that's a free one, and they're just going to give people flavor of what we do. Because the idea was to spread the message essentially. So it essentially drives the core audience to because illustrators can use Aurin Ink and kind of
I'm going to use it. I'm going to download. Now here's the question: you left two big companies. You went from DreamWorks to Disney. And then you became an entrepreneur. We're going to talk about that transition. Things that you did not expect to happen. You went the venture capitalist route, which is a tough route to do.
Absolutely.
So what I want you to do is when we come back, I'd like you to prepare us if we are about to go through that transition.
Okay.
Sitting in a job that really gives you all the benefits and the brand and going out on your own. You ready for that?
Yes.
Because I want to find out. Umesh, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Umesh is going to teach us. Professor Umesh is going to be right now. We're going to find out what it takes to make that massive transition to becoming an entrepreneur. I'm Ken Rakowski. Listen to Business Rockstars. How to avoid procrastination. I'm Ken Rakowski. This is a Business Rockstars Minute. Anytime you procrastinate, you're not working efficiently because you essentially are borrowing against your time in the future. You're not managing your time wisely, and you're not allowing two things to happen. You're adding your workload burden, and you're making it harder on yourself to get things done in the future. If you do this often, it's not that you're lazy, there's something else going on. It might be you're trying to avoid somebody. You may not like your job. You may not think this is your job, and some people say, I'm just too busy. If you're really just too busy, then it's not procrastination. It means something else. You might need help in organization, or you might need to say no on other assignments until you catch up. This has been a Business Rockstars Minute. For more Business Rockstars, go to BusinessRockStars.com.
Are you a business owner trying to stay ahead of your competition? Or are you an entrepreneur trying to start a new business and bring an innovative idea to market? Are you looking for funding but need help crafting your pitch? Do you hope to meet the right VC or investor who understands you? Join Business Rockstars and get insights from the front lines of today's new economy. Learn what is working now from today's industry leaders. In 2013, Ken Rakowski brought together over $1 billion of new business deals. We've learned that if you want to do something great, you can't do it alone. Join Ken as he introduces you to Steve Jobs' mentor, the founder of Atari and Chuck E. Cheese, Mr. Nolan Bushnell. Whoa, don't touch that dial. Business Rockstars will be right back after this.
Did you know that the sounds you're hearing all exist because they contain one unique mineral? The sound of every electric car on the road, of every cell phone on the planet, and all the gadgets that now consume our lives. They all contain one unique mineral, graphite. And the demand for it is increasing rapidly. Graphite has evolved from simply the lead in a pencil to the essential mineral used in our everyday lives. And now that we're evolving from smartphones to smart cars, it's time to make smart investments with focused graphite. So when you hear the sounds of today, you know it's focused graphite that's also producing the sounds of tomorrow. You've watched graphite grow, now let's watch your money grow. FocusGraphite.com.
Business Rockstars will be right back. Learn how to start, fund, and grow your business.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? Okay, well, we need to get this thing started. Okay, everybody, my name is Alan Smith, and you probably heard my amazing story on how I lost 51 pounds and 6 inches without even really trying. Well, I'm the creator of the Bistrictin weight control system. No, this is not another diet pill or anything you've ever tried before. Bistrictin is an all-natural alternative to bariatric surgery. Just drink our liquid complex and it's going to expand in your stomach over 50 times in size, forcing you to eat 70% less food without surgery or ever feeling hungry. In fact, you literally can't eat for 5 to 6 hours, so you can lose weight from day one safely and naturally. And if you call in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to let you try Bistrictin completely risk-free, so you either lose weight or you don't pay a dime. But this is a special limited offer, so you gotta call now. 1-800-480-3563. That's 1-800-480-3563. 1-800-480-3563.
This is Business Rockstars, where we teach you what you need to know to become a rockstar entrepreneur.
So what's it take to become a rock star entrepreneur? Well, we're learning about it. Sometimes you have to make massive jumps in your career to find the thing you love. I'm Ken Rakowski, Business Rockstars every single day. Rock stars from around the world. Entrepreneurs will help turn you into entrepreneurs. Umesh Shukla is joining us. His company is now, what we're learning about, it is a Pixar-like company, but it is focusing actually on someone we did not mention, and that's picture books.
Yes.
Which actually is something that has been around for the longest time. There hasn't been any radical changes in picture books. You're seeing probably the iPad and the tablets as this new forefront where it could look beautiful and have interactivity, right?
Absolutely.
And what are you doing there?
So what we're doing is, like I established earlier, that we created this core technology that allowed us to create or illustrate animations or bring motion to those unique picture styles.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine going through an experience which has the illustrations coming alive, at your...
But we're seeing that. Isn't that a standard thing we're seeing now? Or
Not really. What you're seeing is, there's a difference between, making a cutout and kind of moving things around, as opposed to literally having this world emerge in front of you in 3D.
Wow.
So it's kind of mind-boggling.
Can we see any of these? Are they ready yet? Or have you launched any of these?
Yeah, so some of it is, again, if you go to Rosemary Wells' thing, app, which is called Bunny Fun, it's a flavor of that.
Bunny Fun?
Yeah, bunny as in rabbit, bunny,
yeah,
fun. And it's head, shoulders, knees, and toes. So that was a unique opportunity. She creates, her artwork is very, very unique. And what you see there, it's not hand-drawn. It's coming from a 3D package.
Wow.
Yes. So the beauty is like because the bunny travels from one location, we took the opportunity to kind of teach kids head, shoulders, knees, and toes 4 different languages. So bunny essentially travels from one location to the other, and you'll see when the bunny turns that it's actually 3D. So it's not like your everyday flash cutout animation.
And what did you do? Do you own that, or did you license your technology to them?
Currently, we own it. I mean, again,
But you're going to be licensing, right? Or you're creating a platform? Is that what you're going to be doing?
we have a platform, but right now our focus, because we created the technology because it wasn't around, but our intent was always to be a content company. So now we have the technology, and now we are creating content.
My concern is with a lot of great companies that have brilliant ideas, they don't know how to monetize those ideas. And all of a sudden what happens is, again, don't take this the wrong way. I just, an observation, because you're brilliant. And brilliant people sometimes don't know how to crack that glass ceiling to the next level. And then another company goes off and buys the patent portfolio is the one that turns it into something big.
Yeah.
So how do you turn this into something big, Umesh? Because you got something that's great. How do you turn it into a real, tangible, money-making company?
So the good thing about it, Ken, is that we have a venture capitalist firm behind us. And with that comes, insight.
Comes pressure.
Absolute pressure and reality. So it's not like so anything that they make sure that we're not smoking our own dope. They make sure that whatever we do, there is something behind it. So, for instance, the first DVD that we made, I mean, I went around different schools in Palo Alto just to kind of learn from the children.
And they love it.
Yeah, they get the difference. Okay. Then we created these small little films, like 7-minute films. Let's see if people buy or not. Soon we were like 50 National Museum galleries. There was Van Gogh, there was Monet. So we said, okay, so validation. And once you have the validation, then comes the monetization.
Make sure we understand. You have an engine?
Yes.
That could do animation. There is a company you should check out called Mass Animation.
Yes, I know about that.
Yair Landau. You know what he did, right?
Yes.
And it got great attention. And it did quite well, actually.
Yes.
Maybe you should create a global crowdsourced storyline utilizing your rendering tools.
It's different kind of business models you can follow. I mean, one is kind of with that comes the support issues that comes, they're different. I mean, you have to choose your battles. Right now,
get it.
Yeah. So right now, I think where the biggest bang for our effort, we've been at it for some time, is an area where we know we can bring a lot of difference to the current.
And you're doing that.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Umesh Shukla is joining us. Again, the company is called, is it Oren?
Yes.
Oren, you could go find it. You're based up here in Los Angeles area.
Absolutely.
You worked for 2 big prominent names, DreamWorks, and then you also worked for Disney.
Yes.
Why would you ever want to leave?
So it's like I said, my design, prior to that, I was at Digital Domain. So,
You were at Digital Domain?
Yes.
I was an investor there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I worked on Titanic, I was a super on Titanic.
Okay, so I understand you went through a roller coaster ride there.
Yes.
Okay, because Digital Domain, unfortunately, is not the way it used to be. It used to
yes.
be one of the coolest offices in Venice.
Yes.
Okay, that thing collided. You went then to DreamWorks, probably?
Yeah, I went from there to Disney and then to DreamWorks and back to Disney. Then I started this company.
So you went all over the place. Why did you leave the environment of having a job as opposed to creating your own career?
So I have always looked for new challenges. Clearly, I wasn't born here, so I have been to different countries, so I've worked in Australia, I worked in Singapore, I have worked in different kind of countries just to kind of find new challenges. And I've been driven by the what can be done with the media.
Understand.
And the inspiration comes when you're, of course, when I was working on Titanic, James Cameron was talking about Avatar even then, Even in Titanic, we were doing things that were not done before. I mean, now everybody
Absolutely.
talks about motion capture. We did it even then, Then when at Disney, I went to Disney because Dinosaur was happening and they had presented a paper, a SIGGRAPH, I think 90s.
Did you go as an employee or as a consultant?
Employee.
So you became an employee of a company that generally is pretty well known to be a good company to work for.
Yes.
Why would you want to quit?
Because with big companies comes, of course, all the luxuries come to you, which is great. It's, you're working with these great names,
Consistency, predictability, reliability.
Absolutely. So I did a small little piece, again, validation. So I had a little idea. I was looking at, what was going on. Since What Dreams May Come, I had done some tests for what dreams may come, So it was essentially, they wanted Chagall, they wanted Vermeer. So I had done all these tests, so my mind was kind of almost there. I said, why aren't we animating these images as though, Vermeer or whoever has painted it? So when I came to Disney, so the idea was essentially, how do you do that within established environment?
Could you not do it?
It's tricky from a business perspective. If Shrek 1 has done well, you have to make Shrek 2. If Shrek 2, so it's like
I know, but you're with Disney. Couldn't you say, you know what, I get it takes a little longer. Let's develop this internally, because you went off and now you took all the risk. Do you have a family?
Yes, I do.
You took family.
Yes.
You took all these risks. And I'm not, hey, we've all done it, by the way, okay?
Yes.
It's a pretty big jump to be an entrepreneur.
It is.
Have you been at any point in time second guessing your decision?
There are days, but no regrets whatsoever.
No regrets.
No regrets whatsoever.
Moving forward, you're really happy what you're
Always.
doing.
I think what I'm doing with my life now is kind of on a daily basis.
You're an award-winning animator. I mean, you have all these accolades behind you. You're jumping the ship, being with a corporate company, to move forward. You're loving where you're going.
So I believe in. I read it somewhere. Like in this industry, you're as good as yesterday.
It's true.
So you have to constantly keep evolving and creating things. And I used to tell my friends, it's like being in a relay race. So somebody has given you the baton in your hand. Now it's your turn to take
run as
it
fast as you can.
absolutely as fast and as farther as you can take. Not be just one of the guys who are just moving forward. So that's what been my guiding force. And then so risk, of course, risk. Every reward comes with a risk.
What is the hardest thing about being your own boss?
The hardest thing is, because you're doing so many things. Not letting any of the balls fall. Let's put it that way.
You mean everything is up to you?
Absolutely. You have to keep. We do have other people, but at the same time,
You hired them. You brought them in.
Yeah. So you have to kind of looking at all the balls all the time, not just kind of being engrossed in what's going on. Always looking at the future. So it's challenging. It can sometimes give you sleepless nights, but at the same time, that's the fun of it.
You have been in your own business for how long?
It's about 7 years now.
7 years.
Yes.
When was it when you were able to take your first vacation?
Maybe last year.
Really 6 years into it?
Yeah, vacations have been kind of, they haven't been vacations. I've traveled a lot, but they've been business related. But again, no regrets. What I'm doing, I wouldn't have done it any other way.
And you said you have kids.
Yes.
Do they see dad going, wow, look how busy dad is? Or do they say, wow, look how happy dad is?
Both.
Both?
And they see what I'm doing. So they know that he's not going and sitting in a bar watching some sports game. He's not kind of doing things. He sees.
That's
they
not
say,
you.
That they say that he's making a difference in whatever capacity he is. So
That's powerful, Umesh.
Yeah.
So let's now step into another area. You did mention you're not from here initially.
Yes.
Do you see that American dream real? Is that real? Singapore is considered the best place on the planet to start a career, by the way, to start a business. Singapore is rated the top. Australia is right on them. Actually, they have something called the Cash Nations. Cash is Canada, Australia, Singapore, and Hong Kong. Those are the places where governments want to help out. Great place to start a business. You're here, but you got to see the world. Why do you feel America, or maybe you don't, why is this the right or the wrong place to start a business?
Nobody had Hollywood.
What's that? What do you mean? Is Hollywood
So
the key?
when I came, that was the only place. I'm in computer animation. That was the only industry who had the money to spend that much on computer animation.
Back then?
Yes.
Right? I mean, your home country, are you Indian?
Yes, I'm Indian.
Well, isn't Bollywood making more movies and now jumping into computer animation
No,
bigger?
it's like, to me, it's like, it's still the forefront of technology is
here.
still right here. The kind of infrastructure you need, I wouldn't be sitting in front of a VC who understands what I have in mind.
Fair enough.
There are, of course, with China, we are doing business with China. We have an office in India, so I go there like every couple of years. So, to me, it's a different place. There is the kind of support system that exists here in terms of financing, in terms of...
It's here. You can't find anywhere else.
I haven't found
How about
it.
talent?
Same issue. I have got talent here. I've got people here from I've got a guy from Princeton. I've got, a guy from Kalamazoo who's kind of probably the only computer
Let me make sure I
scientist
understand
that...
it. You have a guy from Princeton, you have a guy from Kalamazoo.
Absolutely.
You really went diversity there.
Precisely, because the guy in Kalamazoo is probably the only computer science graduate from there, and he is brilliant. So what I'm saying is that we have, I'm coming with the diversity of talent. So we have on one hand, places like, the guy who's done PhDs, and to people who are just kind of, driving to...
Since you are a very internationally focused individual, do you see a sea change happening over the next couple of years? Meaning, maybe this is the epicenter of opportunity in the United States, but do you see maybe 5 years down the road where that might switch?
Absolutely.
Where do you think it might go towards?
It'll be, world is flat. It's going to flatter and flatter every time. So it won't be a center. It would be,
more distributed.
And I have done those experiments myself. I have created picture books just to kind of run as an experiment. I have hired guys from Chile. I have hired guys from Philippines. I have hired guys from Poland. Never met them. We have picture books
It all
happening.
works.
Absolutely.
And you're saying the Thomas Friedman world is flat, which is right. You're right. It's a flat
coming
planet.
flatter and flatter.
People have to expect that. You have to think
Absolutely.
more global.
Absolutely, you have to on a daily basis.
Umesh, people want to find out more. Where should they go? What's the website?
It's www.aurin.com.
Spell it.
AURYN. And our newer product, which is kind of a library of apps, is called Stories Alive.
Stories Alive.
Yeah, so it's www.stories-alive.com.
And that's where they go. I appreciate you spending time with us. And it sounds like it's been a happy 7 years.
Absolutely.
Right?
Loved it.
You do? Well, you're more than welcome to come on the show any other time. Tell us what's going on when it comes to the animation world. Download the two apps. You just showed me the Canvas one. Wow. You want to go check that out. He just made a picture of me real time, and it looked really great. And it's CAMVAS. Yes. And that's an app that works on the iPhone.
It's free.
It's free. Go do it. Thanks a lot for hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to find out what's going on when it comes to the best tools and tech that you should have incorporated in your business. Andy Abrams is going to join us. I'm Ken Rakowski. You're listening to Business Rockstars. Why banning social media in the workplace is a stupid idea. I'm Ken Rakowski. This is a Business Rockstars Minute. The work environment has dramatically changed over the past several years, with more people spending their time in front of computers, and more employers are making sure those hours aren't spent on social media. Liking, sharing, and commenting aren't allowed in 1 out of 5 workplaces, as many employers are blocking access to Facebook. But does banning social media really boost productivity? No, you need a break. If an employer spends 2 hours on Facebook a day, then that's a problem. But for most, it's about 15 minutes on social media, and that's divvied up throughout the day. By banning social media from employees, especially the younger ones, that's Gen Y, you could be losing some good employees. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter isn't bad for your business. It's the abuse, and your good employees know it. This has been a Business Rockstars Minute. For more Business Rockstars, go to BusinessRockStars.com.
Are you a business owner trying to stay ahead of your competition? Listen to a 30-something entrepreneur who raised over $200 million. The TrueCar CEO Scott Painter, who raised over $2 billion. Learn how to start, grow, and fund your business with proven strategies. Are you looking for funding, but need help crafting your pitch? Do you hope to meet the right VC or investor who understands you? We've learned that if you want to do something great, you can't do it alone. Learn what is working now from today's industry leaders. In 2013, Ken Rakowski brought together over $1 billion of new business deals. We've learned that if you want to do something great, you can't do it alone. This is Business Rockstars, where rockstar CEOs teach you how to become a rockstar entrepreneur.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe it? Okay, well, we need to get this thing started.